Hey, I got something to mail you out, man. You're just freaking out here. I never smoked no shit like that before. Take these. What? Take these. Hey, don't take those, man. I almost gave you the wrong shit, man.
Hey, man, I already took them, man.
Hey, what do you mean? Wow, man.
Hey, what was that shit, man?
You just ate the most acid I've ever seen anybody eat in my life.
And the first thing I want us to understand is that love is more than the spectacular things that we do for each other. Stay with me now. But even more than that, a person can do all of those things and really not understand what true love is.
Hello. Have I lost my voice? What's up, y'all? Anyway, music you have been listening to is Zigzag. If you didn't know, I'll post it in the chat. Anyways, let's make it quiet. There you go. How's everyone doing today? Welcome. Let me get close. Ow, ow. Welcome to Denoted. How's everyone doing? Today's coffee of the week is finishing up the coffee for Casa, which we've talked about before. But I am going to take some up to the mountain, share it with the family, get rid of it. That way I can start trying out different beans again. That way they don't, go bad. As well as the beans by now have kind of been properly aired out per se. Yeah, but I plan on during the trip bringing up some coffee as well as buying some at this new place that's in a small town. It's literally off like virtually a dirt road. I mean, kind of crazy. But I did 2 whole cups It's a lot, very strong. But it's really good. The chocolatey notes are coming out. It's supposed to be what, chocolatey and caramel? Yeah, a lot of chocolate. But it's still delicious. Anyways, you're wondering where the monkeys were. The monkeys, one of them, Linda, wasn't feeling too well. She should be feeling better and will be back. So the Peaches episode has now moved to the 16th at 8:30. And as I was saying, since I'm going to be up in a mountain, the Plain Creams has moved to the 26th. So next week there will be no stream. I'm going to enjoy the weekend. There will be TMA at its normal schedule both times. But yeah, that would be Peach coming up. And then we will do cherries and mangoes. Now, I just posted this poll, so I don't think anything has happened yet. But if you want, go vote on this if I can. There's no way to share it? Am I blind? Oh, I always forget sometimes. But yeah, go vote on this. I have somewhat of an idea. Yeah, black with 3 sugars. Typically how I like them. Very black. Yeah, I shaved. That way my beard would be like fresh by the time I go up. And man, oh man, I lose like 10, 15 years. Everyone at work was saying I look like a damn kid. They already say I look too young. By the way, I'm 36. They already say I look too young. And now they're like, what the heck? Don't ever shave again. And so apparently everyone in their right mind thinks I should never shave again. I don't know why. What up, Ploppy? What up, Linda? What up, Fitty? What up, Ronald? What up, Brett? Did I say Brett? I think I said Brett. Is that everyone? And Fitty? No, I said Fitty. What up, everyone? But yeah, like a baby. But see, what's crazy is it's already coming back. Like, it's been less than 24 hours. And it's already coming back. Also, I can't skate. Fun fact. I can't do 4 wheels. I can only do 2 wheels. So like bikes, gotcha. Scooters, gotcha. But as soon as you put rollerblades on me, you get a skateboard. Oh, and if you take the wheels away, now we're skiing or snowboarding. I'm just like falling over the whole time. So I'm totally not Tony Hawk. I would maybe be more like Travis Pastrana. I like driving stuff. If I had a lot of money, I'd wreck stuff. But hey, yeah, it will be Easter break, so y'all have a happy Easter. But yeah, I just posted it in chat. But basically, this would be kind of like we go through every single flavor. It would be a series, of course. And see this little thing? I fill out all the boxes. I finish them up. Okay? And yeah. I'm just seeing if that's a good idea. It would take like, I'm not going to do it all at once. That would be dangerous because I have close to 1,700. I got to add some, of course, all the time you see on the show. But I should have around 2,000. So I am missing a lot. Thanks, EOR. So that would be something that I was curious to see if y'all would want to see. And just continuously go down. Probably make it like, what do you think I could do it in like 5, maybe 7? Probably more. Let's see. Let's do an even 1,800 divided by, let's just say I do 25 per episode. That's 72. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay. So let's do 1636 divided by, let's say I do 100 flavors. That would be 16 episodes. This might be a mistake, actually. 1636 divided by 50, which makes more sense. That would be 32 episodes. So that would be a series. I don't know. We'll see. What else? Shameless promotion. But yeah. Linda will be back. She's all nursed. She even went bald here. Crazy. Their hair grows back quick. Like 6 days. Back to normal. Anyways, follow us on here. Yada, yada, yada. If you like what you see. Yada, yada, yada. Patreon. Help me fund my taco and coffee addiction. Update on last week's episode. Root beer. This has nothing to do with root beer recipe. This thing's good. And that's coming from me. Like, it's actually to the point where I will release it. Well, I'll put the video and all that. But it came out really good. And alright. Now I can get to it. So today we're going to do additives. It's going to be subjective a little bit. I'll go over maybe if other people, but I'll go over what I typically use for additives. So who picked this? Well, let's find out. Tobacco has been on the polls forever. There's probably a quicker way to do this, but I don't even know. I don't think the polls disappear. They would be right around here. Right here. Where was it? I think we had like 4 votes, and then I combined it with others. Oh yeah, I can't see it. But it got enough. It got around 5 to 6 votes, which I know is not a lot. I know you didn't. Linda, look at the whole... I can tell you what you voted for. So I added it because it actually was in the top 3 most voted, like overall. YouTube and all that. Plain creams you voted for. Root beer you voted for. Odd name flavors, which thank God I did that. People like that one. Papaya, not too popular, but it was on there. Lemonades, stuff like that. But yeah, it's on there. It won't be a too long episode. But at the end of the day, you probably don't like them because you haven't used the right additives with them. So it's kind of your fault. Just letting you know. So, per example, you can just do hide private and tobacco. Butterfly sperm. Boom. Look at this. There ain't that much in there. But, as you can see here, depending upon how you mix. So, like, for someone like Fiddy and Linda that don't like it, this is a really good tobacco to start with because it's super sweet. Now, I would get rid of the 4 pipe completely because it's going to have a little bit of smokiness to it and a little bit more reality. So I would take that away. But I would take this mild tobacco, put it at... I would try it first here, but I might give it to them with 0.25. So the lightest freaking amount. And they would like this recipe. Almost certain. Almost certain they would. Because this is a very caramel, chocolatey... it's almost like a real Soho, which we'll get into. So like putting it at a lower percentage, all this is going to mask a lot of it. It's kind of like what y'all do with cream and sugar and coffee. You're just masking the bitterness. So anyways, there is ways, and most people generally do like tobacco recipes. They just don't know, or they haven't had ones. Because the problem is when you get them commercially, it's either so far RY4, or it's just so far elitist. And so a lot of them are elitist kind of commercial. They're pretty strong, so a lot of people get turned off. But if you like dessert flavors, the kind of bridge over to it is not that crazy. It's just, you gotta it takes a little trial and error. But if you don't like RY4 and Soho, etc., I don't know what's wrong with you. Yeah, because this is super at 0.5. I think 1, yeah, see? 1.7. And you still get it at 0.5. So 0.25, you'd still get it. Their flavors are pretty poignant. But let's get into it. Now, one thing I'm not going to address is like fruits. I don't want to use fruit additives. But I'm pretty sure you could add some berries, plums, cherries, stuff like that. I'll kind of go over them, but that's not my style. What I like to do is you get ash and smoke off of RY4s. There was a lot of good commercial ones out there. My favorite was actually a menthol one, which I utilize for a lot of people to help them get off of it, off the stinkies. I'll go over like the berries and stuff, but they're not kind of my style. But a lot of people do that. Cherries, plums, berries. But let's get into it. It's going to take a while to find one. Of course, you have all the RY4s. We'll go over like RY4 in a general. I wonder. Now, almonds are good. The one that I prefer most is the almond custard. Here's the notes for it. First off, nuts go well. Nuts go well with backos. It just complements. Look at 555 Gold by Anywhere. It's just the perfect example. So almonds, of course, you would expect. This one is good at adding because there is spices in it. Okay, and those spices you can kind of work with it. The creamy almond can help also break up the bacco. So this one's good. I have used it in one recipe. Other reasons I didn't like it. In FA, so almond in general, nuts. We'll go over other good nuts. The 555 Gold has like a whole bunch of nuts in it. That thing is amazing. I like them, but the thing about tobacco mixes is it's a time and place. That's how I view it. For me, it has to be. The weather doesn't matter, but fall feels real good. Fall and winter. And then I just like doing it like either during holidays or like vacations. I'm not going to do it on this vacation, but I don't know. It's just some kind of relaxing. Also, really good with coffee and food. You can do cakes, a lot of good cakes, but that's kind of cliche, any kind of cake can help soften it up. Now, where is the one? Apple, no. Now, coffee, you can of course use, but the thing about coffee is it makes it even more bitter. So it's not like recommended. Now, I saw it. Here it is. Here's a good one. So we can talk about all the avocados, but specifically avocado cream works best. Favora avocado does decent. FE does decent, but avocado cream does best. Now, a lot of people get banana cream out of it, yada, yada. I don't get a complete banana cream. I get like a creamy white chocolate, spicy kind of thing with a little bit of banana in the single flavor test. When I mix with it, the banana evaporates unless I have other bananas. This one is really good. It adds like kind of a molasses texture while softening up with the cream, of course. But since the cream has some like kind of spice and depth to it, it really pairs well. I think I just showed it in one of the recipes. Was it in this one? I swear I saw it somewhere. Oh, that might have been my OG one. But I've used it. Oh God. That is not. Thank you. Okay. Nothing public. But I've used it in so many different recipes to begin with. Recipes that it's not supposed to go. Hey, Session. Thanks for joining. But this one specifically does really good because of its unique kind of creaminess. You can also use other ones like Favora I've used before. There's the, because it's cream and then the peanut butter in there. So you got to find quote unquote off notes or notes that shouldn't be in there and kind of work with them. Bacon. Bacon would work if we had like a real bacon. I would make it work. I haven't used it yet. I don't know. Bakewell, I feel like would go well, but don't quote me on that. All right. So the bananas. I mean, we could one day try to do crazy backos, like try to make a banana. There is one from nope, that's not it. That's the crappy flambe. There is one that I have from Salube. I think it's Biker's banana, something like that. Has a weird name. That one, there it is. That one is terrible. We can rate that in the future if y'all want. But that is like a banana tobacco allegedly. Nonetheless, it could work. So I mean, you could start. Now, if you were asking me which banana I would start, and I know we weren't going to address fruits, bam, it's Puree. The spices in there are perfect. It's creamy. It's a unique banana. That's the initial one that I would go for. Banana nut bread, too easy. But yeah, that would work. And then flambés, any kind of dessert banana is probably what you would want to go for. But as I said, not my style. Bavarian creams, of course, all creams can work. Beer nuts. I think that should be mentioned. This is where you could use this flavor if you want to make kind of a savory. Yeah, bananas would work. I'm talking about in the past. The bananas would work. It's just you would have to create your own, and that could take a lot of work. I have like 80 bananas or whatever we went over, so I have less than that. I'm thinking strawberries or something, but it would probably work. I don't see why not. Especially the fact that bananas can be creamy, soft, runty, spicy. It's like green. But anyways, beer nuts. I never used it because I don't like nuts. I mean beer nuts. I don't like salty nuts. I don't want nuts in my recipes. So, or salt. But this can, I bet you, I've seen it. I'm pretty sure that's what most people use it in. Is kind of like, there we go. Look at Rocky. Salted nuts. There you go. See what I mean? Like, that's kind of where you would use it. Add in salt. Beetlejuice. Just kidding. Cereals would work. There isn't a specific cereal. Here we go. See, this is weird. I have way more biscotti than that. But any kind of biscotti would work. Biscotti is like, how do you explain this? It's like, there you go. You have a bunch of different kinds. But it's, I don't know if you've had one in real life, but it has like a darker kind of feel. It's very crunchy. You definitely want to dip it in your coffee kind of thing. I hate them in real life. They're disgusting. They're worthless. Congrats. What are they? Italians make much better things. This is one of those things where they had extra food and they had to turn it into something. You know what I mean? You know, the struggle. We all have had it, but it's bad struggle. It's like their Vegemite, I guess. Except Vegemite's probably better. But nonetheless, biscotti in our realm is really good. It for me, depending upon what they are, you can get like a darker kind of chocolate kind of flavor in there. Favora is, my favorite. Obviously, I don't know where the rest are. Got to find out what happened to them. But I know I have about 3 or 4 biscottis, I feel like. But stuff like that would work. Coffee desserts, like tiramisus and stuff like that, often go well. I have no clue how Eddie's going to timestamp this, by the way. I just thought about that. Yeah, RIP avocado cream. Session, do you know if they're going to continue that flavor when they switch over to the new company? I haven't heard anything about it. But avocado cream, like, we should do an episode of like the top 10 VTA, just in case. That would be fun. That is a hard top 10, but avocado cream has to be in my like top 3, top 5. Now thinking of biscottis, you have a bunch of biscuits you could work with. Noms, I think specifically jumps off just for the simple fact I think they have like 3 or 4. They have a ton. So there's a bunch you can go through that would, if you want a buttery, if you want, they're all different in their own way. I don't think any specific one would work better or less. If I were to pick one off the jump, I would go with one of the noms. If that might be the easy route because you can get very precise. If not, I'm definitely going Flavor Jungle or Inawera, which are the top 2 still, I think. I'm not a biscuit guy. Someone asked Linda, someone asked Sam, but I still think Inawera and Flavor Jungle are in the top 3 too. But yeah, I would start with, and if I were to pick between those two, stop making me pick. It would be hard. I would go with Inawera. I am kind of a Polish fanboy as my internet slows down, whatever. I would probably go with Inawera. It's a little bit darker than Flavor Jungle, which that color transitions a lot better, I feel like, when it matches with the tobacco. I would say like biscuit, Inawera would be good with like the Cavendishes, in the darker kind of smokier ones, whereas Flavor Jungle would go better with the Virginias, RY4s, the brighter kind of stuff. Bitters would work too. It might get a little weird doing the bitters and tobacco because bitters is meant for drinks, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. I would assume go super duper 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 light. Like either one you get, I would start super low if you wanted to add like more bitterness to it. The 4 pipe series essentially, to me, the 4 pipe series, and I think a lot of like elitists will say this, there's not a lot of tobacco in it. So like, it's more like black cherry with, not with black cherry. Does that make sense? Or did I say that backwards? I don't know, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, no paco, la cherry. Or whatever, vanilla, Now, I like that because you can utilize it to kind of give a feeling. But it's definitely like 80% or more of the one side. So I think they're more additives to kind of lean away, add some vanilla in there without getting too, like, you don't have to think too much. You're just like, oh, I want cherry in this tobacco recipe. Boom. Oh, I want vanilla in this. Boom. The 4 pipe series is a good introduction as well as some of the best flavors Inawera makes. They also, the Blackbird pipe's a little bit darker, you know what I'm saying? Now, I don't like licorice, but it's so bad it would probably work. You know what I mean? Here is a good, if you want to do fruits. You're going to do fruits, the darkness of blackberry can complement, Cavendish and the darker ones. We need a list of all of them because I'm just going to say the same 8 list of tobacco companies in Zimbabwe. What? Cigarettes. Oh, thank you. Okay. This doesn't help us. Tobacco leaf probably would give me what I want. There we go. That way I don't forget them all, like Burley. Corojo. Creole. Break. Yeah. Wait, Samantra? What? I thought that was... I thought that was coffee. I guess there's 2 kinds. Hey! Hey. Alright, now I got the backbone just in case. Because there's a lot. Burley, where's Cavendish? Latankia. There's Cavendish. Habano. All right, cool. Whatever. We're not gonna get. I'm not that good. Okay. I'm not gonna be like, this is a dokha with a broad leaf. But some of them I can kind of get the gist of. Now, blackberries I think would work well with the, Burleys or Cavendishes, stuff like that. Blackberry has got the darkness that you would want to match with it. The audio cut out? What are you talking? If sometimes it blocks out because I have terrible internet. Let me double check. We should be good. Give me the autumn, give me the... I got Tarzan song stuck in my head. Whoa, 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 whoa. Can't play that though. Whoa. I sound loud. Session. I have crappy. I have cheap setup, so if it ever happens, just restart. But out of all the berries, I think blackberry would be the best because it can stand up. The one that I would, it's easy. It's before. I've done it before, very low, and I liked what I came out of it. I would definitely add more blackberry next time, but it's like a fine line. You don't want to add too much. Same thing with blackcurrant, except I prefer blackberries. Yeah. I'm very curious to see what would happen. I know it wouldn't be good. Now, blueberries can work similar to a blackberry. Blackberry is more pungent, so it works better with backos than blueberry, in my opinion. Of course, this is all subjective, by the way. I don't know anything. This is what I know. Okay? It can work with backo. So what would happen if you razzed it up? That would be weird. I like weird. And I like trying to make things that shouldn't work together. But stick with blueberry if you're doing any kind of fruit. We're going to skip through all the 10,000 blueberries I have. If I were to pick a blueberry, there's a couple. I like the bakery element of blueberry raw. And the sugary element kind of does a unique thing with the backo and kind of add almost turn it into a backo bread. That's a good one. And then another dark one. Where are you? Cinnamon crumble. Easy. The cheesecakes. I would love to see how this does. Just with anything. I need to mix that soon. And then if you can source blueberry black tea. That's a very earthy blueberry black tea. So it does fairly well with Virginia's. Kind of giving it a blue earthy feel. But that one, I don't know if you can source it as well as if you can tell. I am the only person that has this. There's nothing. I did one sweet tea with it. Is this even the right one? Maybe it's labeled wrong. Because I know I thought I released the recipe. Oh well. It's somewhere. Wasn't that good. But yeah, the cheesecakes stand out to me. I'm very curious to see how that would do. Of course, alcohol works. I won't get into it because I don't really use alcohol. The only ones I use, and we'll go over it, is that rum is really good. Hey, Greg. Jack is the way to go. You never thought of biscotti? Anything wrapped around coffee, it just moves right over. Brown sugars work really well, but we'll go over the best one soon. Butter can work, but it's a fine line. it can make it a little bit too oily, so you have to be kind of threading the needle. As well as buttery can kind of make it a little bit odd, kind of give it a popcorn toasted kind of feel. Butter pecan is a safe bet. Pretty much any of these you can do. Butter pecan pie is a good starting point if you just want something simple to build upon. But where are you? Flavor West butter pecan is definitely like, I mean, it's in general it is a fantastic flavor to begin with. But it matches. It works well with virtually any of these. I don't see any specific one that it would link to. I just think it's pretty versatile. The only thing I don't think it could work with is probably like fruits, but I mean, who's that? Butter rum, of course, obviously you see it there in Sticks Mix. And honestly, the butter rum Cavendish, I think we went over one of them. It's not that bad. Sticks Mix is pretty solid. Of course, now buttercream, peanut butter. I haven't worked with it, but I bet you it would work. But butterscotch, you gotta have a butterscotch. And I was like, what? No cactus. Butterscotch, I would say you gotta go cliche. You gotta go Nick Cliche and go the butterscotch ripple. Or you can do, what is it, the regular butterscotch, but I think the butterscotch ripple would work well. That's not butterscotch, but I think this is like the one that would work. It's sweet, super sweet, so it'll help kind of mask those notes and work well with it, kind of sweeten up. Very RY4 kind of deal. I think we skipped over the ash. Where are you? Where are you? Blackfire. Boom. Honestly, what I get out of this is just ash. A lot of ash. If you want to add ash, there you go. Okay. There's also another one, Honkestan Blackfire Jungle. No, Effie. That one is similar, but it's not as ashy. It's more smoky. But it does have less ash. Not really an additive, since technically it's tobacco. Where were we? Where were we? Were we just... Yeah, there we go. Alright, I'm not going to tell you to use cactus. As we said earlier, cake, cliche, very easy. Pretty much pick your favorite cake and you can kind of add to it. But Gala Bitter Chow is a great additive because you can just add like 5 flavors to it, right? Just by adding this flavor, because it has a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of chocolate. What else is in there? Like a little bit of a graham note. So like you already have like anywhere, depending upon your palate, anywhere from 2 to like 6 flavors. That just add in this, boom. Now, unfortunately, Mom and Pop closed. So if you have any left, you can do it. That's what you can do with it. But yeah, it was virtually probably the best additive. Melons don't do well. As I said, any kind of coffee, I don't see the one I like off the top of my head, but the Peruvian one, what is it, with condensed milk or something like that? That one's really good. We'll get into it. Here's the brown sugar. I know you've heard it you've heard it before if you haven't. Everyone says this tastes like brown sugar, and it's pretty much brown sugar. And this is fantastic. It works well with virtually any of them. Definitely a Burley Cavendish kind of deal where it excels. But it is fantastic flavor to begin with and does really well with tobacco flavors. It can hold up against it. And yeah, one of my most regularly used. I don't even use the brown sugar ones. The same with caramels. If caramel butter Wonder Flavors is one that's fantastic. It's thick enough to handle, sweet enough, as well as you can kind of turn it into a smoky kind of caramel butter. So it's not too hard to roll with. Another one, caramel cinnamon roll. That one does great. Add in a little bit of cinnamon in there and a bakery note. You get a nice kind of tobacco coffee cake, or cinnamon cake, I mean. Or cinnamon roll, I can't speak. There it is. That's the one I was thinking about. This one is good. Good in general, and really good if you want to have coffee, tobacco, and cream. You add your tobacco, and then just a little bit, or as much cream as you want. And then the brown sugar I was talking about, add that here, boom. You have your own homemade RY4. Yeah, smoked butterscotch, we'll get there. No, Mom and Pop's is gone, but there is places that still sell it. What up, Illuminate? It happens. Just turn off the notifications, turn them back on. It happens all the time with me and a lot of my favorite. Like I am subscribed to over like 1,000 YouTube channels. Like I've been using YouTube since it started, and yeah, I pay for YouTube, so I subscribe to a lot. Caramelized sugar VSO is fantastic with tobaccos. There also was another one that I had. I can't remember, but caramelized VSO works very well. It's just light, adds a nice little sugar over it. I mean, if we're talking about cakes, I think the cake that would work the best would be carrot cake. I know that sounds weird, but either carrot cake or that Xmas pudding, that would work. As well as, here's another one. If we're talking about, what is it, cassis? It's black currant, blackberry, something like that. What is it? Black currant. Out of all these, I think this one would work. It would take a little work. But it's very earthy, and the earthy nature can work well as we talked about. Blackcurrant works well. Celery VSO work. No, I'm kidding. You can use cereal. I've never experienced cereal tobacco. Yeah, Brett. Quickest way is, I think Noms had some, probably not. Canada would have some, probably, but unfortunately everything that you can find about is gone. They're yeah, like you can't find anything about them. There's this one, but I don't think this is them, because that wasn't them. You know what I mean? Like they were just flavors. But yeah, I can't even. Oh, here. They have indulged shredded Hawaiian. I've never even seen this. We're going on a tangent. Sweet juicy pine. That makes me sad. Sweet juicy pineapple blended in with coconut and a hint of banana. That is right up, like, That's beyond my alley. That's inside my house. That's beyond inside my house. That's in my bed. That's beyond inside my bed. That's in my pillowcase. That's in my soul. Just when I sweat, I would sweat this. But unfortunately, it's gone, and I'm not 99 cents for a 10. That's pretty cheap. But where's this? It's in UK. I don't think they ship to me, but oh well. I'm now sad. But yeah, they're gone. Not only gone, like you need a Wayback Machine to find them. Gases syrup, yeah, it's most common in liquors. I remember that's where I first saw it, was working at the bar. We were talking about cheesecake. Cheesecake would work well. The one I would go with is the most Grammy Yes Sweet Cheesecake, which is down the line. Inawera Yes Sweet Cheesecake, Flavor Rica, whatever you want to call it now. Definitely works best. It's the darkest, it's the Grammiest. Well, it's not the Grammiest, but its gram matches the best. Another good one, if you want to add kind of like a creamy, cheesy, and like the total opposite of a cheesecake, go with Olympus. Because in my experience, that's basically eating just the inside of a cheesecake with like 5 grains of graham cracker on there. And then, of course, SSA would be another good one. Here's the cherries. Now, there's a bunch that could work. Sam would know best. I think SSA cherries would probably be the best off the jump if I could find them. I guess I don't have them in here, but like SSA ripe cherries and all that one, those would work better, or best, I think. You of course have easy ways out like cherry Cavendish, cherry cigar, cherry blossom. I'm very curious to see how that would go. You could make it work with like, oh, whoops, wrong one. Like a Virginia. It would have to be something very bright. Could work. I don't know. Of course, this is kind of easy. Chocolate. To help you out a little bit, to make it easier, to what's a good chocolate. Of course, there's easy routes where there's tobacco in it. Chocolate hazelnut, Noms, that's a good one. You know, any kind of, but I think chocolate mousse VTA, which I have used, it does fantastic. As well, chocolate cream Hankson, another one that does amazing with tobaccos. And if I could find my favorite or my second favorite, it might be the mousse. Oh, where are you? There you are. Is that it? Yeah, the other mousse. You can't go wrong with either mousse. Why did I put 2? Well, I guess I don't like it as much. I guess. I think I know people like this one. So if you don't get that cardboard note, I prefer VTA. But there was another chocolate one from, I think I skipped over, but Australian chocolate. That one's good. Hankson, I think there's also Italian chocolate or some Italian chocolate cream, something like that. Hankson makes another good one. I don't think I have that one. Here's another one from Mom and Pop, if you can source it. Choco Moco. It's basically like a more chocolatey version of the Caterpillar Chow. If you can source that, I would get it. Churros would work if we had a legit good one. Churro Flavor Jungle is decent, but there's not a really good churro. Devon Cream. Both Devon Creams, I forgot about that. Both VTA and what is it, CCW? Right? The other one, CC, I can't remember the other one, but both are good. Devon Cream, or as I say, Devon. Of course, cinnamon works. Duh. There is so many options for cinnamon. So I'll go over them quick. So CDS, of course, a lot of the old recipes of RY4s does, well, as well. I just had a stroke, I guess. Cinnamon Danish swirl is in a lot of old school recipes, a lot of old school tobacco recipes. It does well. It's very cliche to go, but it does its job. It works. It's one of those flavors that can stand up against it, so can't knock it. Cinnamon pastry, another good one. I would say cinnamon roll flavor West is another one similar to the caramel, virtually the same thing. Cinnamon sugar by Cap, definitely, it just adds like a nice crunchy cinnamon sugar on top. Can't go wrong with that one. Waffles, yeah, you can do. What? Oh, I'm thinking flavor. Coconuts. It's another easy one, so I'm gonna try and pick the best ones that I think work well with them. So coconut custard, very easy to go with. One of my favorite coconuts. We'll let it slide. Okay. It's kind of similar to their almond. But that's a good one, as well as the macaroon, which is a new one. Now this is a little different. You got to be a little careful with this. This does work, but I think this flavor excels better in other avenues, of course. But it does work with backos. You have to bump it up a little bit. I would say around 2 to 3, and then kind of work the ratios. But it does a really good job of adding like a coconut and then the macaroni kind of flavor, bakery essence. And then yeah, coconut rum, coconut smoothie. This is one that I don't even think you can find. It turns into a very creamy coconut with hints of caramel and maple. But like I said, let this sit. If you can source it, it does work well. I need to get more of it. It's fantastic. Coconut with chocolate wasn't too big on. Coconut rum, that would work, but there's a better rum that we'll go over. Coffee can work, but I would recommend dessert versus actual. It's going to be super bitter. There's another one, the compote cherry. That would work if you like the cherry. We went over that real quick, but compote, ripe SSA, those work well. Sam would know. Now, I don't think I need to mention that cookies would work. If I were to pick one, there's the other one I was talking about, is the cookie. Okay, you don't want to work, we'll just not click on it. The cookie FA biscotti, that one would work well. Cookie butter would work well. Pretty much cookies, any kind of bakery works well. Now, here's the hard part. A lot of people instantly go to using WS-23 to add coolant to their backos. What I find that works best is using a very low ratio of WS-23 and then using menthol. You want the menthol. You want the earthy mintiness, natural, leafy. And it complements it very well. But a lot of people go with the WS-23 being the more prominent cold. I like it the other way. I think it works better being kind of secondary. And of course, clove. Where's my clove? Did I skip over clove? Whoop. That's not the only clove I have. Sorry, y'all. This was from Noted. and I never added them. Those are the 3 that I remember. Let me just verify. I already added VSO. Oh, before. Wait, yeah, 4. I don't have Innerwear, don't have Flavor West, couldn't find them. Fuck LA. Nature's Flavors, I didn't have enough money to get. Medicine Flower, I don't have. So, Phobora, boom. Alright, thank you for, I skipped over it because there was only 1 and I was expecting 4. And yeah. So now I gotta refresh this. Alright, so, okay. La 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 la. Where are you, bud? Alright, so by far, I don't. In the future, we might do a clove episode. I put it up there, and it got less than tobaccos, and y'all complained about tobaccos today. So I don't think we'll ever do the clove. So I'll just go over my 2 favorite out of the 4 that I have, and it's definitely VSO and Phobora. Phobora is definitely the better because it's more like condensed and more in depth, but both are good. I think clove would work better, definitely with the Cavendish's Periques, Watake. Like a lot of these, it would work well with. It doesn't matter, but clove Phobora, I think, is the best one that would fit well into the mold. And thank you, was it Brett? Thank you, Ploppy and Brett, for making sure I don't forget that. Nets, natural extracted tobaccos are great. Sticks makes, obviously, the most common. The problem with sticks is their percentages. And in my opinion, you got to build on. Why am I doing this to symbolize it's building? I'm trying to. It's building, but this is building. Okay, that's apparently how you build. We're not going over corn. Okay. They were a great band, but it has nothing to do with the topic tonight. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, nets you just gotta build upon, which kind of makes it annoying to some people. Speaking in Italian. Okay. Anyways, yeah, Phobora and VSO, definitely. Either one would work. I like Phobora better. Where were we? Condensed milk. Condensed milk is probably my favorite cream to add because of its density. Now, it adds to the steep because I feel like this flavor needs a steep. That might be just me. But without a doubt, this one, it's thick enough. You know what I mean? The sweetness is there, but you can kind of lean it towards less sweet or not, and it just does its creaminess. But it's really good. And then we were here. Now, if you want to use corn, I would recommend the bread. Or, I mean, the buttery aspect, FA corn, it's butter corn. So, I mean, if you have the butter element and the corn element, you just need to add tobacco. Now, you have done this to me, so I'm going to make it. It would have to be a Virginia. Or, yeah, it would have to be a Virginia. Maybe an Oriental. Or a Turkish. Might work with the Turkish. But yeah, that would be weird. And I'm down for it. Down to see it. Go ahead, Ploppy. Make it happen. Kettle corn sucks, though. I'm sorry. I mean, it doesn't suck. It's just not. It's not. It's a 3 out of 5. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. No one will ever use this, but cornmeal. It would work. Now, out of the creams, I would definitely say the best one out of these simple name ones would be Phobora, because it does have a little bit of spice in there that at higher percentages above 2 come out. So it does work pretty well. But like I said, you have to adjust the percentage of normal to a little bit of absurd and kind of bump it up. And then those spices come out. Kind of similar to banana puree that we went over. Besides that, the milky undertone, it works, but it's a little too sweet. So you're in super RY8 area. Cream cheese icing or cream cheese, I mean whipped creams. Now whipped creams are too soft in my opinion. Now I haven't used whipped creams above like 10%, so I don't know how crazy it would go doing that. It might work at that level of depth, but I'm not gonna test. I don't have the money to test that. You know what I mean? Cream cheese ice in LA is good, and that one off the top of my head does great. There's also buttercream frosting that I think I skipped over from Wonder Flavors that does fantastic, as well as I skipped over Bavarian Cream Wonder Flavors, which is another one that does fantastic, similar to like a cream cheese icing kind of deal. Yeah, that's all here. Yogurts, that would be a little weird. I don't think you would definitely not want a Greek. You know what I mean? You would want some like SSA sweet yogurt if you want to do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Creamy pistachio. That's a good one if you want to add pistachio. There is like 3 to 5 pistachios. I would say SSA, creamy pistachio, and Green Joy Innerwear off the top of my head are the 2 best options if you want to add pistachio to anything, really, I guess. Innerwear Green Joy is number 1 by far. If you were to use the yogurt, I wouldn't, but if you were, I think creamy yogurt at 3 to 6% would work, but that ain't my thing. Maybe sweet yogurt, but SSA, but I don't want to hurt people's emotions by bringing up that flavor. RIP. Which, by the way, SSA, get it together. What are you doing? Getting rid of one of your best? That makes sense. Let's buy a crappy company and get rid of our top 5 flavor. What you doing over there? I need a refill. Anyways, besides wanting to say crème anglaise, definitely if you want a pouring custard that's thick, it's Decadent Vapors, okay? This is going to work with those brighter tobaccos as well as the mild tobacco we talked about earlier. Bam. This thing is versatile, okay? Not only in the tobacco range, you can use it in fruits. You can use it in desserts. You can, what can't you use? I'm pretty sure you can use it in a menthol, right? It's a very versatile flavor. Now, what it does in tobaccos is it adds thickness to the whole thing and also coats it with a thick cream, kind of similar to what condensed cream or condensed milk does. And yeah, you need to get this flavor nonetheless. Like, it should have been in your it should have been in your cart already. Sorry, hairball. Tell you, man. Every now and then, us aliens get hairballs, Similar to the monkeys, with the lavagitis or whatever she had. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, cream anglaise. Alright, most creme brulee suck. VTA is the only option, I think. Yeah. You just need that burnt caramel at the top. But if you are going to add a creme brulee, which is one of the best ones, because if you get a good burnt note in there, it pairs well. Obviously, it adds to the smokiness and the ashiness. Yeah. Creme chantilly. Similar to like the waffle in the crispy coffee, they have that burnt note that you can kind of exploit if you want to add or kind of bridge it. LA is misleading, but It works. Yep, triple O burnt sugar. I think, don't forget caramelized sugar VSO, which is one of the best, if not. Croissant. These might work. I mean, they're one's, I can't remember. I always get them confused. One's more buttery, but crumbled topping. That's a weird one, but that would be good if you had to add just a crumbly note to it. But it does that in general. You know what I mean? I don't even remember. I have notes on this. I mean, if this is accurate, it would work. I need, as I say, you do weird things, but I still need to get through so many of their flavors that I haven't, like, I have 200 at least. Because the original 100, I got, I think 90% of them, because it was similar to the Nons lineup. They were really good. And then I pretty much after that, after original 100, I had to get everything else for the show. So I'm only missing 4 plus the crappy ones. So probably I'm only missing, like, I would guess 25 to, I don't know how many flavors I got, but 25 to 50 flavors, I guess. So I got a lot to go through them. The only cucumber that would work is cucumber mint. As we talked about earlier, utilizing menthol versus WS-23 was way better. And as I'm doing my Italian hands, this one is definitely the one where it has the most values that would kind of bridge. Now, the cucumber is not too prominent. It's the mint that takes over. It has the only thing that the cucumber gets is it gives you a little bit earthy peel, but as soon as you mix with that, you just get the mint. So I think that would work well if you kind of wanted to, if your recipe was a little too dry and it already had a menthol kind of feel to it. Similar to the cult cucumber, which I forgot to mention has a cold note. I totally forgot on 2 weeks ago. But I mean, by the sea, as you can see, we're already an hour in. Cupcake batter. Boom. Cupcake batter, vanilla custard, all their, what is the other one I'm thinking? We'll get over it. There's another one. Cupcake batter, and I'll go over it once I see it. But cupcake batter goes well. Because for me, in my opinion, it's like a darker batter. And so the darker batter kind of transcends way better into backos than actual cupcakes. And that's just my opinion. It's a little too dark. It's kind of like in between chocolate cupcakes and vanilla cupcakes. Does that make sense? Like it's for me, it's like if you were making like a caramel cupcake, this would be the base, or like a cinnamon cupcake, this would be the base. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not your typical white cake cupcake or chocolate cupcake, but it works really well. Custards, duh. I mean, that's easy. The best one though is Inawera because of its spices. Once again, spices are very important. The things that are too spicy just work well in the backos. Yeah, if you're gonna filter out SSA, their hit rate's probably around 40 to 50%, which is really good. At least for me, it's good. It used to be closer to like 50 to 60, but as they've added more, there's been a, of course, it's gone down. But in general, if they had like 500 flavors, I would guess you would need to get 100. They're around there, I guess. I don't know. I think they have like 2 to 250, and I would probably recommend 50 to 100 of them. But if you're I don't want to say casual, but if you're just like normal, I would say probably 25 to 50 is all you need. Probably like 25, 30. Solid good ones. In general, the only ones where you need a lot more, Favora is really good. Wonder Flavors is really good. Capella and TPA are just the most available and have a lot of information on them, so it's easy to filter out. VTA was. I haven't tried any of their new brand. I'm sure it's the same, but I have fears. Inawera, but Inawera has so many flavors it doesn't hit well. You know, it's in the same range as SSA. This is all subjective, of course. But in general, most companies, you only need around, I would say, 20 to 25. If you're just like the best of the best. Like, you need kind of deal. And even then, that's really, you know, kind of extreme. In general, pretty much 10 to 20, I guess. You only need around under 300 flavors. That's all you need. And then if you don't like some, you get, you know, you replace it kind of deal. But that's my opinion. You don't need 2,000. But yeah, this is the best one out of all of them. There is ones we'll go over, but if we're talking about matching, it's definitely like Custard Premium's a little too bright, you know what I mean? No one knows about this one. But Danish pastry right here, it's a good one and it does well. Similar to Wonder Flavors cinnamon pastry thing. Kind of similar to that, but more of a clean paint. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? A clean easel. I don't know. Bob Ross. What? How did this happen? How did that happen? Oh, please don't. Okay, thank God. All right, here's another one. So these two right here, very old school. But we talked about the bananas earlier. This is another one that goes, and because it's deep fried, it works. But this one, it's kind of hidden. This one works. I mean, I think this is where it excels besides other pastries. You know, it does very well adding bakery notes to it. There's another good coconut, desiccated. That's good if you want like strips and kind of like adding a hint to it. Donuts, we've already went over it. Dragon fruit won't work, it's too light. Dulce de leche. We're gonna go for one. This was the new one, right? Relatively new. I long term Flavor Jungle is probably the best one. I've utilized it in recipes. I doubt there's any. Wait, did I see me? No, that's Dave. Not any time recent, but this one does well. It's very dark. This one would go well with that mild tobacco. Dolce is very similar to like butterscotch and caramel, you know. Here's a good one. Eggnogs. Specifically Favora. Once again, because it is the most spicy. And it does well. I've used it in recipes. I tend to reach for it. It's really good at adding, in my opinion, adding like a kind of seasonal feel to a tobacco or any kind of mix. Another one we talked about, adding menthol. I think eucalyptus with mint in Awera is another good one to add that earthy notes that you want, but use it low. Also, why is there a period there when I click? You see that? Is it because the Y to the P? The Y to the P. Huh, I never noticed that. Y'all see that? The period comes between the Y and the P. But if you do it at other places, it doesn't. It's like, see the lines going, how the lines go all the way from the bottom here? So it's like, I guess, it's how the line continues. There we go. I figured it out. It's not a period. Brain's working. Fig does great. Specifically Favora VSO. Fantastic. Really kind of a darker fruit that works well. Flapper pie. That's another one. People don't use it typically, but it's nice, simple custard cake with cream on top. And if you're gonna add dark berries, forest fruits are definitely where it's at. Specifically, it doesn't really matter. Any of these would work well if you want to add a nice earthy berry to it, Italian. French vanilla, specifically the thick and the deluxe. Wait, what? Wait. That's a good hidden one, but that's not the deluxe that I wanted. Where did you go? Oh, that's just vanilla deluxe. Not that one. No, yeah, it is deluxe. Okay, I'm sorry, but these two right here are perfect. They are fantastic. Obviously thick, but they're both strong enough to uphold and stand against backos. The only problem is some people get a little bit of what is it, cardboard or some kind of negative note. Is it pepper? I think pepper out of this. So heads up. But either one works well if you want to add French vanilla. Here's the polar, polar ice, anything like that is the menthol stuff. Okay. Just making sure everything's okay. Alright. Fresh Puff is another one as well. But I haven't had experience with it, so I don't know. But I know there's like mint in it. Alright, there's spearmint. Once again, as I said, the earthy mints work best, in my opinion. A lot of people use apples. If you want to add, we're at funnel cake. BAH. This one, if you want to add apple, is just the like cliche, easy to go to, simple one. By Inawera. I typically don't use fruits, as I said. Here is one. Garden mint is perfect. Another perfect one if you want to add mint. Garlic. Ginger. Here is a good one now. Hear me out. This flavor is just great. It's great in grape mixes. It's great in mango mixes and lower, of course, but all this is lower percentages, The average is 1.4. I'm talking about like 0.5. It's great in grape, mango, backos, zerds, yada yada. It's very versatile and very good at boosting flavors. And the spicy notes, the earthy notes, once again, play very well here. The same thing with like the ginger peach. The tea aspect works very well. Don't have experience with the OG is a little different than the NF. NF is like not like, it's hard to explain. Golden sponge cake, that's a great one. We already went over graham crackers. They work well, obviously. I mentioned my favorite one, right? I would say probably like Yes Sweet Cheesecake. I know it's a cheesecake, but it still has like such a great graham note. Yeah, Flavor West Extreme Ice. I don't have that one, but I do know a lot of people love that because that's a combination of WS-23 and menthol, if I remember correctly. There is like ice and then extreme ice from like several different. Now, if you were going to do grapefruit, the blend is the strongest. I feel like it would hold up, but no. I wouldn't do a green apple with it. Guavas, I don't know. I don't like melons with it. They don't work well. Hazelnut. Duh. Hazelnut works well. Without a doubt, Flavor West. boom. You don't want to load? Fine. Flavor West, boom, go. You can do the roasted as well. I prefer Flavor West. I don't want to add more roastiness. I mean, but if you wanted to, bam. Hollandaise cream. Here's a good one. All right. Now, these are the creams you're looking for. You're like, there's no point to this. Wrong. If you want to add spice, if you want to add uniqueness, if you want to add a different cream that doesn't just have the base of milk, like, I don't know. This is based off, why can I never remember this crap? It's so terrible in real life. So it's eggs, melted butter, lemon juice, and seasoned with salt and either white pepper or cayenne pepper. It is well known for the key ingredients, eggs Benedict. That's where you know it from. Often served on vegetables such as steamed asparagus. Get your asparagus out of here. It's a terrible veggie. But yeah, this one is so good. So out of it, you do get egginess. The butteriness is almost like a texture versus a flavor. It's like a molasses texture versus an actual butter flavor. I get no lemon juice whatsoever, but I tend to like with a lot of lemon hints, I either get it completely too much or nothing. This one I don't get any. There is no savory aspect to it, but there is a feeling of spice. Does that make sense? Similar to like maybe a clove or an allspice, like how, you know, some kind of non-typical culinary spice. This one's fantastic because its uniqueness and spiciness in there and also the creaminess of the egg just pairs well in general with a lot of things, but I think it does well with tobacco's. This does well with fruits. This what does well with custard, similar to Inawera custard, how it's a spicy custard. If you don't have Inawera custard, you could probably add this to it, and boom, you have some different but similar. Yeah, as you can see, I got excited for this one because not a lot of people have this one, and I think it's a very underutilized flavor. I haven't made millions of recipes with it, but the half dozen to dozen recipes I have, testers, I have liked them. I don't share a lot of stuff I like, but I have liked them. Holy Grail RY4. RY4s are. It's a very easy way out today. I could say RY4. Great additive. Yeah, it is, but that kind of seems like a waste of time because even the average Joe knows that. I think Soho we should go over for the right. RY4 we did do as the last fun fact, if I remember correctly. Let's go check out. Let's go snoop on W square, or is it W2? Yeah, W square. W2. I think it was the last episode. The last episode was RY4. Yeah, the last real episode was RY4. So we did go over that. I don't think we should go over it because it's too easy. If RY4 double TPA, RY4 jungle flavors, RY4 ultimate. If you want RY8, there's Hankson. Okay, done. The goats are the holies. In general, holy vanilla, holy grail, RY4 is freaking amazing. Okay, I don't care that the OG is even better. All renditions have been good that I've tried. So yeah. So I don't think we'll go over that because that's just way too easy. So if you want to check that out, go check out DIY or Die's channel. If you want me to do RY4, I could do it again, but I don't think there's any point because, it's been no updates on like new RY4s, at least that I know of. Sorry, let me All right. Honey works well, I'm assuming, but I don't like any honey. So I'm a little biased. Not a big honey guy, as you can see. Um, honeycomb works, specifically VTA, is really good. And then SSA, the crumble type, would do well since it has the crumbliness. Oh, we're at H. Honeydew, like I said, I don't like melons. Here is the black fire that I mentioned. Uh, the black fire is similar to FA, except it's not as ashy, and it's kind of a different. But this one works very well as additive to kind of add in a dessert feel, similar to mild tobacco. For I know it's a real tobacco, but still. If I was gonna do any ice cream, one of them, without a doubt, you gotta do dark chocolate ice cream. It's like the best dark chocolate ice cream. If you wanted to use one, I tend to use no ice cream. I think the only one that I've used before is like ice cream SSA, which is about goat. You know what I mean? Or ice cream vanilla. It's still pretty goat. And those are pretty easy to go with, as well as Wonder Flavors makes one too, a regular, I think vanilla or regular. Obviously we're gonna go over their custard that I can't remember the name. That's gonna annoy me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me it's Rubion. There it is. Yeah, we'll go over that. Indulge vanilla custard, another rare vanilla custard, similar to TPA V2. This one would work. I just haven't used it as well since they've closed. Kind of sad. So, Irish creams, none of them stick out to me that would work, except for I think we skipped over, which is Creamy Liqueur by VTA, which I'm assuming has been rebranded, but nonetheless, that is definitely the best one if you want to add just a little bit of Irishness. Okay. Jam scone, I don't know. I don't think that would work. Let's see. All right, here's the ones that Kentucky bourbon, TPA, definitely one of the best if you want to add some kind of alcohol element to it. Invalid flavor, where did you see that? Did I? Let's see if we can find it out. How does that help me? Forbidden fruit of the culinary. Come on, man. Session. Here we go. Grimberry Farms one shot. Imperial Dust. Is that what its name was? Grimberry Farms one shot. Shout out. Thank you, Session. Fucking legend. I always forget to write the name. And it's such a simple, easy thing to do. But when this happens, bada bing. This was a great blackberry custard. Ah, I remember it, but I don't remember the name. Yeah, like, what is this? What? I'm so confused. How's that here? And then it says FA. Okay, two FAs. What is going? Well, then why? I. What? What is going on? And then it's a one shot from Vapor Vapes. I'm sorry, but I trust. Oh, it's Lalani too. She's saying FA. What? What is going on? Natural boiled potato with skin. What? Natural and light and tart softened mellow boiled potato. This is a prank. This is a prank flavor. And then it's cider apple, but then I don't know. It must combine flavors when they're invalid. So, anyways, let's help clean it up. Bye bye. Oh, whoops, I clicked cancel. Thank you for pointing that out. I completely skipped over it. Yeah, Kentucky bourbon was a good one. We'll go over the vanilla rum or Jamaican rum. Did we I think we skipped over. Does it? Okay, I guess it's not. I guess it's rum Jamaican or whatever. Kiwi, no. K&T is the tobacco. Lavender and florals could work, but I don't want to try. I don't like citrus in mine. Love, here's a good one. Love is great at just adding a white cream or a white chocolate cream to the tobaccos. It stands up against it, as you saw it in my caterpillar chow. I've used it in other ones. You have to boost it above 2 if you want to use it against stronger tobaccos, but it's really good and it adds a great texture to it, a great layer of somewhat like a cream, I would say, versus like chunky or anything like that. But fantastic flavor for that. You can learn more about that flavor on episode 2, Denoted. Madagascar vanilla is a really good one because it's a darker kind of vanilla. Madagascar vanilla, I don't know how to. It's a specific kind of vanilla, sweet creamy tobacco like balsamic with a spicy back note. Sure, whatever. But yeah, it's kind of like I envision like you made like a vanilla for coffee, like a coffee liquor with vanilla. That's kind of what it gives you. Like it's a very darker kind of dense vanilla. Malt VSO would work. I know that's weird, but it's a great milkshake and it's dense. It's so dense that it can stand up very well at 1 to 2%. So it's a good one to use. It's way better than the malted milks, which will add too much of kind of a was it waxy kind of note. Malt VSO is the creamiest of it, and as you can see, it's probably the if not one of the best milkshakes you can get. Maple. Maple pecan flavor west, maple bar VSO. Though not maple pecan flavor west and maple bar Flavora. I was looking here. Those are probably the two best off the top of my head. Maple syrup FA. I totally forgot that one is probably the one I use the most. It's just really good at adding a maple note, and it's very potent, so you can kind of use it in any kind of situation. Marshmallows, as we talked about earlier, they're too soft, in my opinion, to be fully utilized, but yeah. NF malt is good too. That one works, but that one's a little bit too malty. FA cider apple was an old flavor. The first maple you want to get is definitely maple syrup FA. Is my favorite. And a Whopper flavor? What makes? Are you talking about Burger King? Oh no, the chocolate Whopper. I was like, what? A little off topic, but you know it would be really good. Some burger and mayonnaise flavor. You know what I mean? Because Burger King's Whopper, what makes it is their mayo is like probably the best mayo. But then everything else sucks at Burger King. Yeah, Whopper, there is a Whopper flavor. Uh, I think NF is the closest one. You can take VSO and sway it towards Whopper if you wanted, but it's that would just be mine plain. It's definitely milkshake. Mascarpone cream cheese. Meringue is really good. If I were to pick a meringue to use, I would say definitely Wonder Flavors. Wonder Flavors probably makes my favorite meringue, as well as, of course, FA. Either of those would work very well. Milk and honey. We went over this, but this is a great flavor with tobacco. Um, it's darker than normal. Notes just make it very well with, like Burleys and Virginias. It's great. Of course, once we went over the cheesecakes would work. There's no, like, it's kind of specific, whatever you want. I think the nougats would work, but I don't have experience, so I'm not gonna claim. There we go. Oat milk. So oat milk is a fantastic flavor. As I said here, it's like a horchata that a drunk person tried to make and failed. But it is a great flavor. It's a little bit. Uh, it's like it's supposed to be like oat milk or oat milk. I'm assuming, but like it's got some unique spiciness to it. It's got like a little bit of woodiness to it, and then like a hint of smokiness to it. It's a very unique cream. Um, it has spices in there that are not normal. And like I said, it's kind of like a horchata. Kind of like a unique horchata, like a horchata from a different country. But yeah, this one is one of my favorites. I've used it before. Also, oak wood. That's another one, but that's more just wood. There's no creaminess to it, no spices, just good old oak wood. And that, I mean, at low percentages, you're going to add a woodiness to it. And it does very well. Oba Oba in general is good at adding that candy shell. It does the same thing in tobaccos, but I don't think it's worth it. It's nothing crazy, just kind of makes it a little weird. But I like the weird. If we're going to do any pancake, I would say it's this one, Nature's Flavors, because once again, we keep saying it, there's spices in there that are weird. It has this, not savory, but almost like a natural cinnamon or brown sugar kind of feel to it, like some very natural and organic, no pun. Uh, but this one, out of all the pancakes, I think it would be the best one to do. I have made mixes with it. I haven't taken it towards tobacco, but I'm willing to bet if you wanted to do a pancake, this one is it. Or pancake honey, which is a really good honey uh, as well. That's probably the only honey I like. It's basically kind of like pancake honey syrup. Paw paw. No, I don't think peaches go well. Peanut butter. Now, to keep it simple, you can peanut butter is very easy. These are not all the ones I have, but without a doubt, nonetheless, I would say DX. And where did you go? SSA. So DX is going to give you that stereotypical perfect kind of peanut butter feel. Works well. Great with 555 gold. I mean, those two are kind of meant for each other. But if you want more of a nutty and a natural skin note and all that, SSA's peanut butter is more of like a natural chunkier kind of peanut butter. Either one would work, but in general, just use your favorite peanut butter. There's Perique. Pie crust would work, but the only pie crust that I would recommend is Triple O, and I don't have that. I need to get more, but that one is the one. And pina coladas work. Now, the one that I found to be the best was pina colada Brazilian. Worked fantastic, as well as pina colada gummy candy does fantastic, as well as pina colada Inawera is not that bad. I know it has 3.5 stars, but it's not that bad. It does pretty well in the tobacco mixes. Now, the reason why I know this is unfortunate. I went through, what is it called? It's called Island Boys. I did that during the trend, right? Oh boy. Oh boy, I gotta get rid of all that. It's gonna, oh boy, there's still more. There it is. So this one. Have I skipped any flavors? No, we haven't gotten this. As you can see, I used the pina colada here in the Island Tobacco. But yeah, we'll go over the rest of it. But yeah, Brazilian was probably the best. And I tried a lot of different pina coladas in replace of it. So, as I'm saying, Inawera is not as bad as it seems, at least in that circumstance where I was substituting. LA as well, but I'd say the best one that worked at, going over is a pineapple that we'll go over to soon. And the Brazilian and the candy, those two. I don't like this flavor, but if you do, it would work. I just don't like it. Where are you? Pineapple coconut is fantastic in general and works very well, as you would think. It's perfect kind of bridge of making that pina colada. I actually substituted it in my recipe and it did very well. I liked it. I liked the OG better, but nonetheless. There's one Mullenberry, where are you? Lassie. Lassie is like their pina colada. I think that's the right one. And it does great as a substitute and in tobaccos. But this one kind of fades. So the recipe changes after a while. So not too fond of it. I would say like a shake and vape if you needed to make a shake and vape tobacco. There you go. That's the pineapple ones, which somehow work. Pink Lady is a good, if you wanted to kind of, if there's any floral to add, this is the one I would add, because it has hibiscus, it has guava, rose, it has like 4 different things, and I think that would pair well with it. How's chat doing? At BK. I love that song. That's the best thing Burger King ever. Because their food sucks. Their song, Have It Your Way. You rule. I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm still not going, but thanks. You guys are something. You guys something. Namino Bar is good. Oba Oba tastes weird to you. That's why I was thinking Poppy smoking and playing cake. Yeah, Oba, I have a mixed both. Let me see. Go to site, please. The Black Mile. Yeah, avocado cream would work better here, but it looks good. You could do some stuff with it. I don't see why. I know it would be good, at least. We're going to take a bathroom break. How about that? The coffee's ready to go. I'll be back.
Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
Oh, no.
If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. There is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to...
Don't worry, I washed my hands. What up, Black Pill? Let me fix this while I'm here. Text. Just kidding. Right? Just kidding. Don't worry, we're not ending. And go green, of course. That's good. Make it small. Don't worry, we're not ending. Right here. And then bye-bye. And transition. Welcome back to part 2 of Denoted. We're only on P. Bye-bye. Alright. Pistachio already went over. Green Joy is definitely the best in the cream. Polar Blast. There's another mint one that I think probably Polar Blast and an Arctic Chill. Those are the two best that work well. Now, if you're going to do popcorn, you got to go for Vora, but it's buttery. Heads up. Portuguese egg tart. There's another good one. Here's the notes. And I like it because it's got the blank canvas. I remembered it now. If you've been watching, I learned English while I was in the bathroom. Not the blank aisle. No, that's TJ Maxx. But yeah, this one is good because it's kind of a blank, a blank start. You know what I mean? Like you can kind of take it however you want. It's not overly sweet or anything, but it has a good, decent body, and it's basically a popover with a little bit of cream and a little bit of butter in there. But yeah, good blank canvas to kind of start molding how you want, and really good to bridge over. If we're going to do any powdered sugar, this is really good. Kind of, if you want, it does its job and adds a nice kind of powdered sugar note. Now, it does it on anything. There's nothing impressive here. It does it in general, but it works. Now, I have worked with pumpkins. The ones that work best, Fairy's Finest in general, works best. Pumpkin bread is another one because it's so dark. And of course, the spice. If either one would work. For Flavor West and Favora, TPA's is not good. Pumpkin spice cheesecake, another one, but that's only if you wanted to add pumpkin. It's very hard to kind of even it out. Now, plums are good, but I don't have any plums. So, there's that. Okay, we're at Q, thank God. Raspberries work well if you wanted a dark one. The best one I have tried, and I haven't tried a lot, I used the Molina at a low percentage, and it was great. But it was very low. It was very light. So I don't know how it would do at a higher percentage. You guys don't stare at yourself in the mirror while you pee? I made myself laugh. Raspberry dripple is another good one, and raspberry custard if you wanted to add a creamier kind of raspberry to it. But there's a lot of raspberry. Red berries, I haven't tried it, but I bet you it would work because it has a lot of earthiness to it. Naturalness, which does great at it. Red oak. It's similar to oak wood by Favora, but not as good. But in the same realm of woodiness. I wouldn't use rice. That's just me. Rich cinnamon. I mean, it sucks that a lot of these are obvious, but this one is so potent that it works. So if you want to add a cinnamon and a light and not use a lot, it does its job. It has a perfect kind of bakery cinnamon note over the tobacco. But the thing is, it's very potent. So you have to fiddle with it a little bit to get the perfect kind of even ratio. But yeah, this is easy. It holds up, whereas the other cinnamons might get kind of overpowered. There's the ripe cherry that I was talking about. Out of all of them, I would say this one is the one I would use. Sam would know a lot better than me because I don't really like cherries in real life or period. I like the like what is it, Marcianos or whatever they call those syrupy ones, but that ain't cherry at that point. That's just sugar. Roasted hazelnut, all this. I already went over the roasted hazelnut. The pecans and cream, I don't like that one. Rose. This is probably the only instance where rosemary would work. Alright, here's the rums. The rum Cuban Deluxe. That would work. That already has kind of like a tobacco feel. Jamaican rum, here we go. This one I think is the essential when you want to add any kind of alcohol to it, to tobacco. This is the one. It is one of the best Jamaican rums to begin with, but it's a good flavor to begin with. The alcohol in it is not so prominent where it can only be utilized in alcohol recipes. I like this in any kind of dessert. Any kind of dessert or tobacco, it works fantastic. 1 to 2, below 1 nuance, it's fantastic. And out of all the ones here, that's the one I think that is, perfect. Rum Mellow is another hidden one that's good. I don't have any experience with mixing it with tobacco, but it is good. So there's that. Here's all the RYs from Chef Super Concentrated Noms. They're good in their own way, but essentially they're RY4s, which I think is an easy cop out today. I think I should stick to. I know I said I shouldn't use fruits, but I think it's easier. It's better to do that. Sauvignon, if you want to add a wine custard. There you go. Yeah, there's the cookies. Simply Cake I've used before. Out of all the cakes, I think this would be my go-to. Um, yeah, we went over butter rums, didn't we? I think we did. We were at B and we were over butter. Simply Cake is the best one. 2 to 4%. It's long term. It's more of a whitish cake, but sometimes it can kind of get a little yellow. It's kind of like a mix of cakes, if anything. This one is good because it can stand up against, as well as it breaks down tobaccos and kind of softens them up. It just does really good with any kind of flavor. I use it in a couple of my bases, and I love it. Smoked butterscotch, without a doubt. Now, it doesn't have like a huge, like you're not gonna get like smoke, out of it, but it definitely has kind of like imagine you kind of torch a little bit of butterscotch. That's kind of what it does. Uh, it is delicious to begin with, but its darkness just transcends over to tobacco very well and sweetens it up. This works well with mild tobacco or any kind of like Burley, Cavendish, even Virginia's. It does well all across the border. Smooth hazelnut filling. Probably the best one if you want to add hazelnut besides Flavor West. It is a little thicker, so it's perfect. It's essentially what you get inside of those Bueno bars. Fantastic. Would fit well. I think I've done one recipe with it. Snow cream. Salute. Fuck out. So Soho is kind of like the stereotypical introduction to tobacco people. Now, it's not a tobacco, but it's in the same neighborhood. Like, it's shared sugar with tobacco before and brought, milk or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a good neighbor. But essentially it's a RY4, so I'm not going to go too over it, but it's a good kind of introduction to RY4s or tobaccos. It's similar to like Caliper or Chow, how it has its own kind of distinct kind of uniqueness and flavor. But yeah, kind of easy to go. How's chat doing? Yeah, sweet coconut. Okay, I haven't skipped it yet. Sweet coconut for sure is probably the number one go-to. Now there's spearmints. I'll let you decide. We did a spearmint episode. I can't remember which ones are good or bad. That's another thing where you kind of just pick your favorite mint versus a very unique flavor that you can utilize. Sticky bun, like if you want to add a sticky bun, that one would work, but I've never done. Strawberry, there ain't gonna be none. Right, come on, we're gonna get there. I mean, it just wouldn't be right. Sugar cookie has been used in a lot of them. Now, am I gonna go out and grab it? You know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna be my first thought because it's too cliche, it's too easy. But if it's too cliche, it's too easy. That's also good. So like, if you want, like, you're in a rush, you know what it's gonna do. You know what I mean? So it does very good at adding kind of like a sugar, crummy kind of top to your backos if you want. The cookie aspect can get a little fiddled. I don't even know if that's the right word. I just wanted to say fiddle. But the sugar coating, whatever you want to call, does very well, and it holds up. There we go. We talked about it real quick, but sweet coconut, uh, another one that is just really good. Who said it? Ploppy. Yeah, Ploppy said it helps moisten up tobaccos a ton. I didn't know that when I've used it. I just know it does very, very good with tobaccos, and it is fantastic at kind of adding a nice coconut element. Now, of all the cereals, I think Sweet Crunch would be the first one I would grab if you're like, hey, you have to. Uh, its dark nature of somewhat being a little bit overcooked. I get Frosted Flakes, by the way. I don't get Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I believe this is the one that I'm thinking of, the newest one. But yeah, it does well. I substituted in one of my recipes, and it did okay. I was surprised that if I built around it, I think it could work. Sweet Tornado, I think could. It's a bilberry kind of dealio. I don't get much yogurt out of it, but that could work if you wanted to add the darker berry kind of aspect. There was the sweet yogurt we mentioned earlier. We're almost done. Tiramisu would work. The problem is I don't like any tiramisu that I can think of. And yeah, Brett, I passed summer clouds and I was like, I thought of that immediately. Yeah, if you want to add it. Uh, Here's another good two flavor that people don't, I mean, they know about, but they don't utilize it in tobaccos. But this is really good at adding a little bit of cheesecake. It's more, for me, kind of like crust, not as much cheese. But the toasted coconut is fantastic. So if you want to kind of add a two-part to it, great. And if we're gonna add any marshmallows, without a doubt, it's the toasted marshmallows of TPA and Flavor West. Now I know I said regular marshmallows, no, but essentially toasted marshmallow, Flavor West, and TPA is what I utilize as sweeteners in most of my bacco recipes, more than super sweet. It just does a fantastic job with them. There's no kind of smoky element to it, but the sweetness of it does great. Toffee does good. A lot of people use it. I don't. I didn't like Mullenberry. I do love tobacco toasted pop. This is great. But a lot of people use toffee in tobaccos. You could also use, if you're going to use a nugget, I would say, Fuvora or FA Tyrone would probably be the safest bet. Now, out of all the ultimates, none of them like reach out to me. I think Favora brown sugar would be a better option kind of deal. And, I think there's better options for custard, but like if you like them, you like them. Out of all the vanilla stuff, vanilla cookie FA would be fantastic. If I had more, I would have explored more, but I only made one recipe and I would love to see a tobacco version of Linda's cookie crack. Vanilla buttercream frosting VTA, fantastic. Similar to the other buttercream frostings, it does well. Vanilla bean ice cream, they're a little bit, I would say, too sweet. I've never worked with them, no particular reason. So I don't know for sure. Let me make sure I get all this. Where? Just want to make sure there's nothing specific. Like all these are vanilla, so yeah, they'll work. But ones that really work well. Flavora, because of its spices, kind of similar to Inawera. It does work very well. I would reach for Inawera over it if I'm doing a custard, but that's another good one out of all the custards because of its secret kind of spices. Vanilla Deluxe Recca. That one, for similar to Grimberry Farms vanilla, that's what I'm looking for, and I don't see it. I can't remember what it's called. There it is. These two are very similar, so if you can't get Overlord now because Grimberry closed, Vanilla Deluxe Recca, which I'm assuming is available in Canada and UK at Noms and DIY e-juice. This one is a good substitute. I do like it slightly better. They're very similar. The difference is this one is brighter, more like, imagine like a French vanilla, I guess. And then this one's more like a darker one, like, yes, a vanilla. I don't know what's a dark vanilla, but like a darker kind of version. Both work fantastic if you want to add vanilla notes to tobaccos. This one I just would utilize in brighter tobaccos, and then this one I would utilize in like Cavendishes and stuff like that. But both are really good. To shortly describe both of them, they're kind of like imagine like a dual or tri blend of vanilla flavors in it. Like it's more than one vanilla and maybe just more than vanilla. Both are fantastic. If you can source either, I highly recommend them before they go. Vanilla milk froth, that would be weird. Here we go. Vanilla pudding, Bavora, as well as vanilla pudding, Kim Nevada. Both work great. I've substituted them both. They're both unique in their own way, but similar enough to where you can kind of get either or and be happy. There seems to be, a little bit more people that like Kim Nevada now, but I still like Favora better. But both are really good at adding a vanilla density because it has the pudding aspect in there to a tobacco. And then Rouillon custard, which is essentially RY4 custard. Yeah, out of all the custards, this is probably the easiest and quickest to go through. Anywhere from 2 to 4% in your set, you have a thick vanilla base with RY4 features like caramels and maybe like a butterscotch or whatnot. Great flavor to begin with. A great introduction to tobaccos because it's not really one. It's great. And then, similar to sugar cookie, you have vanilla swirl, which is fantastic. And I forgot to mention FA vanilla bourbon, just the regular vanilla bourbon. But yeah, this one is fantastic. Another easy one, but be careful. It can mute and it can get overpowered. Where was vanilla bourbon? It's similar to the Jamaican rum. There it is. Vanilla bourbon, another one. I still prefer Kentucky bourbon and Jamaican rum, but this one's really good if you want to add a vanilla kind of alcohol note. It has a little bit more alcohol note than Jamaican rum does. I don't think it has as much as Kentucky, although Kentucky you have to push it up a little bit more than vanilla. This one's a really good flavor. Almost skipped over that. Thank you. Thank you, Brett. Where were we? There we go. Tahiti vanilla. That's another one that works well since it's a darker one. What is it? That. So it's like kind of like a nice kind of smoky but not smoky. Like, I don't know. It's a unique kind of darker vanilla. Vienna cream, of course, easy way out. Here's another one, virgin whipped cream. Out of all the whipped creams, there's not many. This one is pretty good. It kind of gets butchered when you mix with it in tobacco, but the flavor that comes through is still good, if that makes sense. Is that it? The white chocolates we already talked about. Love, Wonder Flavors, Favora. Those are other good ones that go well with it. White chocolate peppermint. I know that's a very unique one, but I've tried one recipe and it was unique. I'll give it that. And then out of the berry cobblers, if you want to add a berry, Flavor West is by far the best, so I would go with that. Also, the Portuguese egg tart, popover, similar kind of deal, except, blank canvas. And then there's the wintergreens. Once again, we did a wintergreen episode for Noted DX. So, and there's wood spice, similar to oak wood, except even more woody, more spicy. And it does well if you want to add like their version of wild melon, but with wood. Because, it's kind of like piney, kind of oaky, kind of red oak. I don't know. I don't eat wood, but it's good. And then there's the Xmas pudding that I was talking about. Xmas pudding is that kind of like raisin dark cake thing. See what I'm saying? Yeah, since it's dark nature, spiciness, raisins. I forgot to go over raisins, but raisins do well. I don't typically use them. Rum raisins, yada yada. But this one is a go-to for adding the raisin element, the pudding element, which is just cake, but it's good. The Yakima hops, that's another one. If you want to add like a beer element to it, that would be the go-to. Like, I don't, but if you did, that's by far the number one. And then the cakes, Flavor Jungle and Flavor West, those, are going to be the go-to for the yellow cakes, of course. We already went over Yes Sweet Cheesecake, but that's definitely what I would recommend for cheesecakes. And that's it. That's it. So how long? 2 hours. Not too bad. Not too bad. A lot easier. What we learned today is that I have more weird flavors than I have additives for an entire genre of flavors. That's an issue. That's an issue. But anyways, that is that. Let's create. So, once again, I'm going to be gone next week. Okay? So what's after air? Right? All right, so let's do that. So next is pair. I'll create this real quick and then get off. Two monkeys are peaches in a pear. That sounds funny. All right. That's a peach. Peaches in a pear. I was hoping it would do that. Let's see. Playing volleyball with pears. Later, Brett. Later, Ploppy. Thank you. I'm just gonna start the music and then finish up the stream because I gotta make the picture for next week, and then I'll head off. I gotta do a whole bunch of stuff. What is this? What? Let's see what we got.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume.
Yeah, but don't forget.
If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it.
I'm curious to see what y'all would think about if we did a series rating all the flavors that I have. No one's voted yet, but I don't even know if people have seen it. Only 7 views, though. Not a lot of people yet. But go ahead and vote on that. You can do that, of course, on our Facebook. Make sure you're following that. That way you can see if we're off. You know what I mean? Next week is going to be pear, as you can tell as I'm creating this. That's just funny. Alright. Use pears as balls. We'll just do that. But yeah, there's that. So make sure to follow on there. You can also help support me by checking out my Patreon, which is always saved in as the link or whatever you want to call it, the pinned thing. But if you're watching live, it's switched over because I switched the pin to the timestamps. Thank you, Eddie, for all that you do. And then what else is there? Oh yeah, I forgot to say earlier. Don't forget to go to ELR. Why isn't it pinned? There it is. Don't forget to do the ELR mix-along, which is Butterscotch Budino, aka Butterscotch Pudding, for a chance to win $25 of Bull City or Noms. 2 people will win. All the information is here, of course, but make sure to do that. It's free. So nothing too crazy. Okay. And is that it? I think that's it of shameless promotion. That's kind of cool. There we go. Let's go over to Canvas. YouTube thumbnail. Upload. Boom. Upload. There we go. Hmm. There we go. Easy enough. Copy that. All right. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We are gonna get out of here. So let's turn the music up. Y'all have a great day. Like I said, don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Don't forget to go to the Patreon. And if you want, you can Venmo me. Yada yada. Yeah, Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. EST. Be there for Pears, TMA. Oh, no, sorry. Peaches. Then the week after that will be Pears. Remember, no show next week, but we will do Plain Creams 2 weeks from now. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy time with your friends and family or yourself, and stay safe. Let's get the music going. Later, y'all.
Than the spectacular things that we do for each other. Stay with me now. But even more than that, a person can do all of those things and really not understand what true love is.